I'd like to call to order the regular scheduled meeting of the Rocky Mount City Council. It's currently 4 o'clock. This time I'd like to invite everybody to please stand and observe a moment of silence to make a prayer.
Could we also observe for those that were assassinated in Jackson, Florida, due to white supremacy that killed those people out of Jackson, Florida, please?
Please. Thank you. This time I'd like to ask the clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Knight.
Here.
Blackwell.
Here.
Joyner.
Here.
T.J. Walker.
Here.
Daltrich.
Here.
Harris.
Here.
Javaris Walker.
Okay, we now have a quorum. This time I'd like to ask for consideration of the minutes of the regular scheduled city council meeting, which was held on April 24th of 2023. Need a motion to approve those minutes.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Joyner, second by Councilman Harris. Any need for discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Item carries. This time I'd like to consider additions or deletions to the agenda. I've been advised that we would like to add a item at the end of the agenda before the closed session to add $200,000 to fund the United Community Ministries homeless shelter. Is there anything else that we need to add to the agenda?
Thank you for that.
Yes, sir. Hearing none, all in favor of the modification as written, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Okay. At this time, too, I'd just like to recognize that, advise everybody that the Edgecombe County Superintendent, Valerie Bridges, will be retiring. She will be honored tomorrow at 5 o'clock from 5 to 7 at the atrium at Wilson Street in Tarboro, North Carolina. If anybody would like to attend, I think she's done an excellent job in her role, and we're sorry to see her go. With that, I'd like to turn the meeting over to City Manager Keith Rogers for community update.
Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon, everyone. My community update is as follows. The 26th Annual Down East Viking Football Classic is set for 1 p.m. on Saturday, September the 9th at our Rocky Mount Athletic Stadium. And this year, the Elizabeth City State University Vikings will take on the St. Augustine University Falcons. So we're looking forward to this event. For more information on game tickets or tailgating passes, you can contact 252-467-4925. I am also pleased to report that our Rocky Mount Fire Department has recently completed all their standards to be formally recognized as a heavy rescue, high-angle rescue, confined space rescue, and swift water provider by the North Carolina Association of Rescue and EMS Incorporated. So this just speaks to our excellence and dedication of all the men and women of all our city employees, but certainly in our fire department. I also want to congratulate our Energy Resources Department for receiving the Public Power Award of Excellence at the Electricity's 2023 Annual Conference that was recently held in Myrtle Beach. These awards were in the areas of strengthening public power, providing superior power, and customer-centered innovation, as well as people. Additionally, weather permitting this week, our final Downtown Live concert for the year will take place at 6 p.m. on Thursday at the lawn on the Imperial Center, and the Band of Oz will provide entertainment. And finally, just as a reminder, city offices and facilities will be closed on Monday, September 4th in observation of Labor Day. Thank you, Mayor.
Yes, sir. Any questions or comments for our city manager? Okay. Hearing none, at this time it's the time for petitions to be received from the public. Yes, sir. Councilman Joyner.
Just one, want to say thanks to the Berkshire and their community wealth building project. They just completed their second home, and they have welcomed the new residents into the community, and they're ready to move on to their third home. I think that's something to celebrate for our 14 communities.
Thank you. All right, public petitions. The public petitions portion of the city council meeting is an opportunity for public comment. And city council appreciates your attendance and thanks you for expressing your views and opinions. The city council values all citizen input. This is an opportunity to raise a question or present a request to the council. However, in most cases, council members will not respond to public comments, but may refer a matter to the city manager or staff for follow-up. Time will be monitored in order to give everyone an opportunity to speak, and speakers will have 3 minutes. Please be aware that sign-in sheets must be presented to the security officer prior to the opening of the city council meeting. If an organized group is present to speak on a common issue, please designate one person to present the group's comments. If your comments are in regard to an item that is the subject of a public hearing, please wait until that item is introduced to speak. Time will also be monitored. If your comments are in regard to an evidentiary hearing, additional time may be granted. City Council requests that you please adhere to the following guidelines. Complete a sign-in sheet, address comments to the council as a whole and not to individual council members or city staff. Speak from the podium in a civil, non-argumentative, and respectful manner. And personal attacks which have the potential to disrupt the meeting will not be tolerated, and you'll be asked to sit down or removed from the meeting. Keep comments to 3 minutes. This time, I'd like to invite Crystal Weems Anderson to the podium. Crystal Weems Anderson. Okay. I'd like to invite Everett Silver to the podium. Okay, Everett Silver. Okay, I'd like to invite Richard Petway to the podium.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
My name is Richard Petway. I reside at 400 East Thomas Street, Rocky Mount, North Carolina. And I'm up here because I've been an employee for the city for over 20 years. So I know what the city workers are going through. Not only that, it is only way we can get things changed is by standing up and speaking out. So I want to let you know today that we expect as a city worker, city employee, ex-city employee, or citizen, expect for the city council to do their part and realizing that the city workers do need a raise. We also want to let you know that we want you to stand up and not let these city managers, supervisors, superintendents harass or do anything to a public worker when they want to speak their voice. It is ridiculous for in 2023 and 23 for a city worker can't stand up for their rights. It is ridiculous. And when we can't stand up for our rights and we don't have anybody else to stand, where are we going to stand? Someone said that some people are angry. Yes, we are angry. We are angry at what is going on in the city, not only just in downtown, but in Edgecombe and Nash. When one could get equity and the other one can't, that's a shame. If you can't pull one side up, then neither side should come up. But because one side is coming up and the other side is standing up, that's why you got the side on the Edgecombe side is being pulled. That's all I got to say.
Thank you. I'd like to invite Peter Gilliland to the podium. Patsy, I'm sorry.
I'm the other hand.
Yes, you are. And my eyesight's not what it used to be.
Hello. Thank you for serving us, our people of Rocky Mount. It's not an easy job. I know that, and thank you. I'm bringing up something I know that you do not have the full responsibility for, but I just thought I would make my view known because there are a lot of other people who feel the same way. I am against having a casino come in at Nash County. I don't think a casino has the heart of our people in mind. I think they have big, big profit. Now, every everybody who would come here with a business would have some profit. But there's no real gain for our people. They don't gain a skill. They don't amass wealth. And what are we telling? I've been here 42 years, half in Edgecombe and half in Nash. And what are we telling our children when we have this pearl of Nash County Community College, which are making places and things for our kids to learn and use the gifts that God has given them in strong ways, so without so much debt, and in a few years they'll have a business. If they're employed by the casino, it may not be so. But what are we saying? We're saying work hard, work diligently, and you will build wealth in your life and for your family. What does a casino across from the community college and not far from Nash Central and Northern Nash say to our young people? I've been here working with young people, and yes, I teach them music, but I teach them values and how to be good people. And I don't think, we're saying, you work hard, you work diligently, and the message of the casino is get rich quick. And it really preys on the people who don't have anything because they're tempted more. Yes, everybody has the freedom to gamble, but go to Danville. Go to one of those 5 in Virginia. Let's don't start it here. Let's make community. Let's give and it shall be given, not take. And God says that righteousness exalts a nation and a town and a state. Thank you.
Thank you. This time I'd like to ask Cindy Worthy to the podium.
Thank you. My name is Cindy Worthy, and I am the chairperson of United Community Ministries Board of Directors. I have been the chairperson for 15 years. With me is Dave Johnson, my co-chair and financial director, and Linda Brinson, who is the executive director of UCM. As you are aware, UCM started in Good Shepherd Church in 1982 and was incorporated in 1987. UCM has been serving homeless residents in Nash and Edgecombe County for the past 41 years. The homeless shelter was previously the farmers market and is located at McDonald Street and provides emergency shelter for both men and women. We've got 63 beds, 18 for females and 45 for males. We are averaging 37 to 40 residents daily, but we're beginning to see an increase as the summer comes to an end. In our 22-23 year, last year, we served 222 individuals. Only 10 were from Tarboro, 118 were from Nash County, and 93 were from Rocky Mount side of Edgecombe County. 65 had mental health disorders. 66 have medical disabilities. Only 22 of the 222 residents had drug and alcohol disorders. And that was really a surprising statistic to me because I think you normally think of homeless shelters being full of drug or alcohol addicts, but ours is not. We're seeing an increase in mental health disorders. The Bassett Center on Branch Street was created in 1993 to provide emergency shelter for families and children. We can house 12 families. We currently have 9, with 17 children and have a waiting list of 20 families. And it takes an average of 16 to 20 weeks to get the families placed into permanent housing because of the lack of permanent housing, if you will. We average 56 to 60 families a year that we work with.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay.
I'd like to invite Adrian Copeland to the podium.
Hey there, so I wanted to talk a little bit about the casino, but mostly I wanted to talk about the lack of voices from you guys about the casino, because this is going to impact our community big time if it comes here, and even if it doesn't. Because the reality is, if it doesn't come here, it's probably going to come somewhere very close like Wilson County. And so to say that we're not going to see any impacts of that, that's a little naive. So I'm here to encourage you guys to speak up about what your opinions are. And also, there is an environment out there, there's a lot of fear and feelings out there against the casino. And what I want us to do is have facts come out. So I know there's been some talks, and I know that there was one councilman that came and spoke and brought some facts, and I applaud you and thank you for doing that. A lot of statistics, because what the decision needs to be made, and our citizens need to be made aware of the facts and figures and what will happen with economic development or not, what will happen with job creation or not, and what you guys think the best thing for our community is, since you're our leaders. So I'd really encourage you guys to do that. Also, I just want to mention, because first off, we heard some talks from a lady, and I appreciate her comments, but I want to point out that just because there's an economic development opportunity here that may not fall in line with people's religious beliefs or convictions doesn't mean that's a complete negative to our community. We have tons of restaurants here in our town, and tons of them have bars. And you may not drink, but you still patronize those restaurants. And that still puts money in the hands of small businesses. It provides jobs for wait staff and janitorial staff. So there's a lot of economic development. And how many people have been on a cruise that had a casino? And you didn't go into the casino, but you got to understand that casino and the revenues from that subsidize the way that your cabin price was so cheap. So there are other benefits to a casino that come here that will negate any negative things. But also remember, if a casino doesn't come here and it comes to Wilson County, we will get a lot of the negative benefits like crime and addiction without a lot of the positives. So please weigh that. And in case I wasn't clear, I am 100% in favor of this casino, and I hope you are too. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to invite Sydney Meeks to the podium.
Good afternoon, Mayor and City Council members. Again, I'm Cindy Meeks, resident of Ward 5. I currently serve as Political Action Chair of the NAACP Rocky Mount Branch 5411B. We held a candidates forum last Thursday, and we wanted to send a public thank you to all the candidates who participated, and also to the elected officials and community members that came in support. The City of Rocky Mount's mission states to advance community well-being, safety, and quality of life by delivering excellent municipal services. The city also has four values, and one of them being supportive work environment. And online on the website, it states, we value our employees and provide the resources they need to be successful. Based on the mission statement and values, specifically supportive work environment, there should be no reason any worker of the city is retaliated against for exercising their rights. In fact, at the April 24th, 2023 City Council meeting, our managers found quoted, we don't have an organization that retaliates against people that are exercising their rights. Retaliation also goes against the EEO federal and local laws, which is also stated on the Human Resources page for the city website, which states the City of Rocky Mount complies with and promotes conduct consistent with federal and local EEO laws and regulations, included but not limited to Title VII and Title IX. Also, every candidate at our forum said they support a raise for the sanitation workers and support if they choose to demonstrate. Some were even quoted in saying they will walk out and/or stand with them. So in all, if retaliation of any kind is happening to any sanitation worker or public works for exercising their rights, it is wrong, and whoever is doing it should be held accountable. As our president, Cooper Blackwell, who cannot be here today, has stated before, we stand with the sanitation workers, and any avenues needed to assist them, we will provide. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to invite Mo Deloach to the podium.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Just speaking for some business owners downtown, I think I came up here before and just was asking about the lighting downtown, the studies. I guess a study on the lighting was supposed to happen, and I just want to know, have we got any results or anything back about the lighting? And also, I just want to say thank you to the Rocky Mount Police Department. I mean, they've been doing an awesome job on patrolling downtown, and not only just patrolling, they have been interacting, outside talking, just not standing around harassing people. And I really appreciate that, and the efforts of you guys, and also the support from you guys from downtown. I really appreciate that too. Also, I think August the 11th, we did a book bag giveaway, and we also want to say thank you from the South Rocky Mount community. Thank you to OIC, and thank you to Joel with Parks and Recs on us. I think we ended up having 500 or 600 people in the South Rocky Mount community, and that's big. I mean, the spray park was free, and we had free food, and just want to say thank you for that also. And also, as a small business from downtown, the event center has brought in a lot of traffic, and I'm thinking with the casino, I think that will help out a lot too. So I'm 100% with the casino, and I hope it comes to the city because the small business will appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. This time I'd like to invite Teresa Alston Stokes to the podium.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Teresa Alston Stokes, and I am here again to stand again in support of our environmental services workers. What can I say? I'm gonna put it simply, these city employees, they need a raise. Not just a raise, but a decent raise. I would like to thank Mr. Jones, who's not here, but who's been coming forth regularly to speak on behalf of the group. And I'd like to thank Mr. Petway, also, who came in to speak on behalf of the environmental services workers. It's also no surprise that someone is attempting to silence the messenger. The City Council has the opportunity to show just how much they support these men and women and show how much they are appreciated. They are just as important as our frontline workers and our service employees. Also, I would like to thank Councilman Reuben Blackwell, Councilman Andre Knight, and Councilman Richard Joyner for voting to give these workers their raises. But however, I want you to take just a minute to figure out the ones who did not vote in the support of our environmental service workers. What can I say? Except for this should not be taken lightly. And the fact that if it wasn't for our environmental service workers, our city would not look as clean and neat as it could possibly be. So I say again, we should not take this opportunity lightly to give these men and women the well-deserved raises in which they deserve. I also would like to take time to say thank you to the City of Rocky Mount for giving an awesome event this weekend, the End of Summer program. Had the opportunity to attend it for the last 3 years and have enjoyed it tremendously. And for those of you who haven't had the opportunity, it's a great event, so maybe next year you'll catch it. And the other thing, we are looking forward to the Down East Viking Classic. So if you haven't attended that before, attend that as well. It's not just a big picnic for the community. It is one of the many cultures that we celebrate in our city. Again, going back, we must realize inclusiveness in our city is very important. Want to thank you all for this opportunity. I'm Teresa Austin Stokes, a candidate for mayor also for the city of Rocky Mount. Thank you.
Thank you. This time I'd like to invite Nathleen O'Reed to the podium.
Good evening, Mayor,
Good evening.
City Manager, and City Council members. First, I would like to, extend my condolences to Councilman Blackwell in the loss of his mother and say that I appreciate him pulling up his bootstraps and getting right back to work. And I'm sure that your mom is sitting up in heaven rooting you on. Next, I would like to thank the councilmen who are supporting the demerger. It's not the demerger, because the demerger thing is a negative word, but they are embracing the children and the parents of Edgecombe County, Rocky Mount, in the transition of our children into the Rocky Mount City Schools. And I am so encouraged because Satan meant it for evil, but God means it for good. And Edgecombe County is ready with open arms to receive our children and to embrace them and to educate them to be better leaders in America. Next, I am so disappointed now about this sanitation worker thing because, used to I had to push my car out to the street for them to get the garbage. But now, I used to, they would come to the house. Now I have to push it out to the street for them to pick it up. And they are doing a good job. Now, if I have to take it any further, I don't know what we're going to do. If I have to take it any further than my curb or my yard. So please do what you can. Now, I was at a activity and I saw a utility worker. And I said, well, did you get a raise? He said, yeah. I said, was it a good raise? He said, yeah. And so I saw the sanitation worker. I said, did you get a raise? No. Well, that was enough said right there. Why is there this disparity? Why we can't get some equality? Why we can't get some benefit for the sanitation worker? Is that so complicated? Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to invite Colonel Stancy to the podium.
Good evening.
Good evening.
And the name is, not to everybody get it wrong, but the name is Carmillus
Carmillus.
Nancy.
My
the
apologies.
second. No, ain't no problem. Everybody get it wrong. They call me some of everything. I can understand if workers have been there for 20 years, sanitation workers, but have workers coming off the street making more money than the 20-year workers. I can understand the workers who have been there 20 years do not receive a cost of living raise. I can understand why Andre Knight said to do a percentage across the board for all, keeping in mind that those at the top will receive less, like I said, after you get that percentage and everybody get up to maybe equal level, not so to speak. But what I don't understand is why monies were found to give police department when it does not generate income to sustain the salary now. What city was used to compare the police department to? Because everybody I talked to across the state, I know a lot of folk across the state. I've traveled across the state, and I haven't heard anybody, everybody talking about Rocky Mount salary, and that's fine. Everybody need to get paid. Can someone tell me if the council has not tried to make sure the sanitation workers feel good about doing their job over the past 20 years by requesting that their pay is fair and reasonable? Let Rocky Mount be the trendsetter for the sanitation workers because they have started a trend with the police department across the state. Now, I say it all the time. I've been coming to this meeting longer than anybody on this council other than the attorney. So I go way back. So people can talk that talk, but I've been here, and I was videoing the meetings long before the city council started videoing them. And I'm passionate about it because I've done it out of pocket and still do it out of pocket. Although y'all doing it, I appreciate it. But I have been coming to this council meeting since the 90s. HRC meetings. Been working in Rocky Mount for 36 years, January will make 37. I have family and friends here, and enemies, and whoever. But I am here to support folk that deserve support. So again, I stand with the sanitation workers And like someone said, retaliation should not be on the table. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dancy. I'd like to invite Sharon Evans to the podium.
Good afternoon. My name is Sharon Evans. I'm from the Hillsdale community. And I just want to say thank you to the council for making sure that we got speed cushions actually put into our community. Also, thank you for the different departments that are working with our community organization, Human Relations, as well as the police department, as well as Parks and Rec. I'm here also standing as far as for wondering what is going on with the sanitation workers not getting their due diligence. We're talking about as far as, I like, the Word of God tells us, let things be done decent and in order. And what has happened is that you have a department, the fire department came, they asked one time, and they received their increase. We have not received a report. There should be some type of report that should be given to the community as far as what is going on dealing with their upgrade, their increase. And I do believe everybody should get a decent salary. And when you have a discrepancy like that has been going on for more than 90 days, I would think, we should actually be able to see what is going on with this council. We know that you're working hard. We know that you can do better. But I believe that these men and women do need an increase. So bad I can't even see without my glasses. I also want to ask again for the ads that are at the bus stop to be put in our community on Barnes Street. We have not received that yet, and I've asked for that for the last 2 months. Okay?
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
I'd like to invite Artie Jones to the podium.
Good afternoon. My name is Arnie Jones, and I'm representing Environmental Services. We're still wondering why we're not getting a raise or even considered in the topic of having a raise. I've been here speaking out on this for several years. Along with Miss Small Tony was here, she tried to make a difference, trying to make something happen in our favor. But we have workers there that are scared to come to this council meeting to voice their opinion. But I'm not. I'm a proud black man. And I speak for myself, I speak for my department, I speak for my family. It's hard, it's tough out here. Trying to make ends meet, light bills high, car insurance. Sometimes you got tuition, people trying to send the kids to college, trying to make a way. And it's sad, very sad, that we got to keep going through this. I'm gonna keep speaking. I'm not gonna stop coming here until something done about it. Just me, just the way I feel about it. I'm passionate. You can hear it in my voice. Sometimes you get tired. The words on your mind. You can't think, can't sleep at night. But I'm not gonna stop. Martin Luther King died for this. You have Malcolm X's own people trying against him. Trying to speak as anybody of minority, trying to speak out, and even my counterparts try to speak out. This city stand behind us. The council said it would stand behind us. Whatever we want to do, it's up to us. But it's up to you too, to see us halfway, because the cup is half full now. But my cup don't run over. Like I said, you don't pull a blessing out, you can't get a blessing to come back in. But that's what I'm looking at. I love this city. I've been working in the city for many, 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 many years. When I speak out, and I'm gonna keep speaking out, not gonna be deterred, not turned around. But if nobody ever open their voice, won't nothing ever happen. Closed mouth don't get fed. Prayer without works is dead. Grandma always told me that. Stand with God. Stand what's on right. Right gonna stand on its own. That's one thing I do know. Can't get wrong right if you stand on it. And I'm gonna keep standing on it. But I just want y'all to know that I'm here. I know the city, the people of Rocky Mount is for us. I hear it every day. And I try to be very respectful to all my coworkers. I'm very respectful for who I see and visit in this neighborhood. But I'm gonna keep coming to every meeting, and I'm gonna keep speaking out on that. But we do need this raise. Every time I come in, maybe tonight, I pray to God that y'all will figure that out, and we can have something. And I appreciate for taking y'all time to listen to what I have to say. I'm speaking from the heart. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, that concludes the petitions we received from the public. Yes, sir. Councilman Harris, I'll recognize you.
I think Crystal Wines Anderson is here. She was the first one. If we could let her speak, be great.
Well, I tell you what, I've called her name twice, as well as Mr. Silvers, and I'm inclined to kind of move forward with the agenda, if that's okay. Yes, sir. Councilman Blackwell?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to say to everyone, thank you so much. Before, I know people start leaving, and I want everybody to at least hear it. Thank you so much for the overwhelming response that my family and I received from the passing of my mom. Thank you for how you supported me while she was living. You know, she moved to Rocky Mount. I brought her here right after COVID, and she was a full-time resident in Rocky Mount and found nothing but love and acceptance and support. So for everybody who ever spoke a kind word or did anything nice for my mom, supported me in the many ways that you did, I just want to say thank you. Forgive me if I've missed emails and phone calls and text messages in the last 2 or 3 weeks. The last few weeks of her life were very difficult for all of us. But I know where my mom is. I was blessed to see her transition from earth to heaven. And I have a blessed assurance that she is fine. And I'm going to be fine right here with her. So thank you for supporting me the way that you have, and for all of my peers here at this dais. I want to appreciate you and the team, the City of Rocky Mount team. Everyone has been phenomenal. This whole city has been great. We might not always agree about stuff, but one thing I feel is love. And I thank you for that love that endures and abides. God bless you. I just want to say thank you.
And thank you. I'm remiss not to have brought that up at the beginning of the meeting, you know, because I know it's a difficult time, and, you know, really do appreciate all you do for the city.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I have
Yes, sir. Councilman Knight, I'll recognize you.
Yes, and I just want to say, just listening to our citizens on this afternoon in support of the sanitation workers. This weekend was the 60th anniversary of the March on Washington, when Dr. King spoke to over 250,000 people at our nation capital. And it really started here in Rocky Mount at the Booker T. Washington Gymnasium when he first did the I Have a Dream speech. And Dr. King went there to march on democracy, social justice, and civil rights. And I know we've been battling what we're going to do with our sanitation workers. But Dr. King was assassinated in Memphis. And he went there to march with the sanitation workers. We have had several incidents, even a march here in the strike, when Mr. Alexander Evans was charged for taking something that he did not. And with this council, they took a bold move to give reparations to those sanitation workers that were still living, who did not get paid for those several months that they were on strike through our last administration of our city manager, Rochelle Small-Tony. That was a bold move. And so I'm asking this council, I know we said 90 days, but don't let Dr. King's dream become a nightmare. And that's all I want to say, just by listening to Mr. Jones. I know personally how it feels when you are targeted and when you are at work, and that you know, people have it out for you. So I just want to say my heart is with you and with all of you, but I know how it feels to be retaliated against. I know how it feels to be fired from a job. So let us be prayerful and let's unify behind this. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Knight. This time I'll bring us to number 8 on our agenda, which is the consent agenda. I'll look for a motion to approve the consent agenda as published. Is there a motion? Motion made by Councilman Joyner. Is there a second? Second by Councilman T.J. Walker. Is there a need for discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. That brings us to item number 10, which are the appointments, and then we'll consider the UCM component. What? Oh, I skipped 9. My apologies. Brings us number 9 on the agenda, which is consideration of the following petitions for annexation. Petition for annexation number 332, Harper and Williams, Sunset Avenue Properties. Petition for annexation number 333, Culpeper Limited Partnership on Bethlehem Road property. And non-contiguous petition for annexation number 334, Red Oak Farms Development on East NC 97. Recommended action is that we acknowledge receipt of these petitions and adopt the resolutions ordering the city clerk to investigate the sufficiency of those petitions. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion made by Councilman Daughtry, seconded by Councilman Joyner. Is there a need for discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. That does now bring us to item number 10, which are the boards and commissions. I've been, yes, sir, I'm sorry, Councilman Blackwell.
No problem. May I just ask a question?
Sure.
So when we actually vote for this, then we'll have a presentation.
That's right.
about
We're authorizing city staff to move forward to bring back information that we can then vote on.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. Item number 10 are boards, commissions, and committee appointments considered on July 10th of 2023 meeting, in addition to which it is my understanding, that Barton Winstead cannot serve on the CCRP because of his position with the Downtown Renaissance, but Jim Martin has been offered in his stead to serve on the CCRP. And if that please everybody, I'll receive a motion.
So moved.
Motion made by Councilman Daughtry,
Second.
second by Councilman Harris. Is there a need for discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Item 10B, which is consideration of additional $200,000 of funding in this current fiscal year, funding for the homeless shelter as provided by the United Community Ministries. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion made by Councilman Daughtry, second by Councilman Joyner. Is there a need for discussion?
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir, Councilman Daughtry.
Since the chair of that board is here and was in the middle of Ms. Worthy was in the middle of talking about all the things that, how UCM impacts Rocky Mount, would it be appropriate if we let her finish her presentation?
If it be possible, I'd like to get a copy of it disseminated. I've already cut short the petitions for the public, and I just feel like that would be inconsistent.
Okay, I just thought since we're considering $200,000 that, we might want to listen to that.
Well, I'll tell you what, if we have any questions, we'll allow her to come forward and answer those.
Okay.
Are there any questions, any need for discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Question.
Oh, yes, sir, Councilman Knight.
Those board appointment, do you have any appointments on the board to the?
We provided a list on our July 10th meeting, and we're now ratifying that list.
No, it's my
Time for UCM.
UCM on the board, I have no idea.
I don't think so.
I wonder if they would consider that if
Well,
we're gonna be a funder.
Yes,
Councilman,
Yes, I'm on the board for UCM.
For the city?
No, not appointed by the city.
No, I was just saying,
If we're gonna fund it, would you consider adding that position?
I would think that would. be
I think that's a
appropriate.
reasonable ask, for
Yes,
sure.
I think it would be.
And we'll make that request. How about that?
Okay.
Any other conversation about the motion on the floor, which is provide $200,000 funding for the homeless shelter? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Okay, motion carries. At this time, I'm looking for a motion to go into closed
I have a
session for attorney-client privilege.
I have a comment.
Well, Councilman Knight, I've not recognized you yet. What's the comments you have, nature of it? So
I can proceed. This is
I'll
going to.
recognize you now.
Okay. Before we go into closed session, that we can get an update through the city manager or mayor pro tem or have it on the committee of the whole, several things for downtown, which is the lighting study, streetscape, the pedestrian bridge, the loading dock depot, and the hotel downtown, and the parking deck, and how we can get that back rolling and back on the agenda. And the last thing is I support I forgot to say, I do support the casino. It's not just a casino, it's an entertainment district. And secondly, I support the $200,000 that we just allocated to UCCM. I also support, and I've been hearing overwhelmingly, mayor and council and city manager from all employees across the board that they would like a cost of living increase for those that did not get any money from the comp study. We know 500 got something and 500 did not. It didn't take us long to deliberate or to ask what's the impact on the budget to make a decision, which was the right decision, to fund UCCM. And I think that we should do the same by all our employees who did not receive anything. If we do not, it's an embarrassment on this city and this administration. Thank you.
Thank you. This time I'll receive a oh, yes, sir. Councilman Blackwell, I'll recognize you.
Okay, thank you so much. Ditto to everything Councilman Knight just stated. I wanted to also state that I know we had a September timeframe on, I remember when we had the initial discussion and I asked how long, and then Mayor Pro Tem Walker said 90 days, thought he could have it worked out. So we're coming up on that in September. I'm just wanting to inform everybody I will not be here that first meeting. That's my 30th wedding anniversary, so I will not be here.
Congratulations.
But thank you very much. Condolences to my wife. Maybe she had to put up with me for this long.
Congratulations.
Okay, but I go on record supporting in advance, and I wish I could be here for that deliberation or conversation if it's planned to be on the agenda. If it's not, I'll be back soon thereafter, but I fully support that movement forward for our sanitation workers. It's the right thing. And I love that idea about cost of living adjustments because inflation, economy moves, and salaries are not moving. Our rental rates in this city are crazy, but it's happening because it's the heated market everywhere. We're 45 minutes away from the hottest real estate market in the country. So all those things we've got to take advantage of. And yes, I do support 100% the entertainment complex, residential development, housing, restaurants. And if you want to gamble, that's your right. If you want to drink, that's your right. And I think it should be done. And I think we cannot hide behind selective morality. If you want to have morality behind one, have morality behind it all, you know. And what I'm looking at is the morality of $100 million in tax revenue. If we get more tax revenue, we can put that everywhere in Rocky Mount. And we can grow together in a phenomenal way. And these challenges that we're having perhaps will shift to something else. So I'm in full support of that. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman T.J. Walker.
Thank you, Mayor. And September 11 is that committee of the whole meeting. So Councilman Blackwell, thank you for sharing that. We will have it. I'm sure we'll update you. I'm sure you don't want to be on virtually, you know, in the midst of your anniversary, but I'm sure that
I would not be. I want at least a few more years.
I'm sure you have plenty of company, but that'll be September 11th for our committee of the whole meeting. And also, Carolina Gateways Partnership has announced Bob Pike as the new president and CEO of the Carolina Gateway Partnership.
Okay, with that, I'll entertain a motion to go into closed session. Motion made by Councilman.
Mr. Mayor, that closed session involves pending litigation, and I'll need to give for the record the litigation. It's City of Rocky Mount plaintiff v. Rocky Mount Bulls, LLC, defendants, Dogwood State Bank, lien holder, and County of Edgecombe, lien holder. Okay. The other matter was not ready for reporting, so this will be the only matter for closed session.
Very well. I've got a motion from Councilman Joyner. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Councilman Harris. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. We are now in closed session.